Namaskaram and welcome to the Prabandhams and Stotrams class. We are continuing our coverage of the padigam from periyAzhvAr Tirumuri. It's called tanmugattu. It's one of the Yashoda Bhavam padigams. So far we have looked at an introduction to both periyAzhvAr Tirumuri and Yashoda Bhavam. And we've also looked at his history, and we started going through his taniyans. So we covered the first of 3 taniyans. So our roadmap for today is that we will cover taniyans number 2 and 3, and then also try to cover maybe 2 or 3 of the pAsurams from this particular padigam. Okay, and we've already started the recording. As usual, we will start by chanting the Podu taniyans. And since you are muted, you can chant it along with me. Trying to get the Shruti established. Ramanujadaya patram jnana vairagya bhushanam Srimad Venkatanatharyam Vande Vedanta Deshikam Sri Shailesha Daya Patram Dhi Bhaktiyadi Gunarnavam Yatindra Pravanam Vande Ramya Jamataram Munim Lakshmi Natha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyuta Padambujayugma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmadguror Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindhoh Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye Mata Pita Yuvatayasthanaya Vibhuti Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena Madanvayanam Ahadyasya Nakulapaterva Kulabhiramam Srimat Tadanghriyugalam Pranamami Mudna Bhutam Sarasya Mahadahvaya Bhattanatha Sri Bhakti Sarakula Shekhara Yogi Vahan Bhaktangri Renu Parakala Yatindra Mishran Srimat Parankusha Munim Pranatosmi Nityam. Now the periyAzhvAr Tirumuri Taniyan number 1. Guru Mukham Anadhitya Praha Vedana Sheshan Narapati Parikluptam Shulkam Adatu Kamaha Shvashuramamara Vandyam Ranganathasya Sakshat Dvijakula Tilakam Tam Vishnu Chittam Namami. Okay, so that's where we had stopped last week, and we are going to start by learning the second and third taniyans of periyAzhvAr Tirumuri. The second and third are composed by Pandya Bhattar, and once again you will see that just as in the previous taniyan, it will also refer to the competition in which Sri periyAzhvAr participated and won the contest. Remember that the contest was about a question that the Pandya king had about what is the best way to prepare for life beyond. And Sri periyAzhvAr, at the insistence of Sri Emperuman, he participated in the event. And by using all the pramanams from the Vedas, he established that Sriman Narayanan, surrendering to him is the best way to prepare for life beyond. So he won the contest, and you will see that there will be references to that again in this taniyan and the next one as well. The first one was a Sanskrit taniyan. The second and third are taniyans in Tamil. So the meaning, the summary meaning is, it goes something like this. So it says here, if anyone glorifies the Arvars, that is periyAzhvAr's Avatara Sthalam of Sri Villiputtur, we will wear his lotus feet on our head. So in other words, if anyone glorifies the Arvas Avatara Sthalam of Sri Villiputtur, it must be because he thinks very highly of Sri periyAzhvAr as well, and that he is an adiyar to periyAzhvAr. And what this says is that any adiyar of periyAzhvAr is Yan Talaivar, okay, he's my leader. So I will wear his lotus feet on my head, on our head, okay? And then it goes on to say that this Arvar won the contest at the Pandya king's court and won the prize money. And by associating ourselves with him, that is, by following his guidance, by surrendering to him, etc., we are sure of redemption by Emperman. So, in other words, we will not have to go through the samsara, the sagaram over and over again. So we would have effectively removed ourselves from any lowly margam. So lowly margams are ways that perpetuate the samsara sagaram. So things that lead to more and more of the bad karma, which will require you to take birth over and over again. So by associating ourselves with him, we are sure of redemption by Emperman. So we have effectively removed ourselves from any lowly margams. Margam is path, okay? Okay, so let's go through the Taniyan and try to understand the words. So it says here, Minnar Tadamadal Sur Villibuttur Endru Urugal Sunnar Kadarkamalam Sudinom. So this essentially says that anyone who is an Adiyar of periyAzhvAr is my Talaivar, my leader. I'm willing to put his feet on my head. So what does it say here? Minnar Tadamadal Sur Villibuttur. So it kind of praises Sri Villiputtur. It says, what kind of town is Sri Villiputtur? It is surrounded by Tada Madul Sur. So Tada means big. Madul can mean two things. So Madul, one meaning is simply the rampart, the high walls that surround Sri Villiputtur. So that Madul could refer to those ramparts. Could also refer to the pragarams that surround the temples. Okay, so the temple, there was a Vatapatra Shahi temple in Sri Villiputtur. So let's interpret this as the prakaram. So the big prakarams that surround Sri Villiputtur, and these prakarams are very glittering apparently. Min are, so minnal pondru, minnal means lightning. Kannai parikum minnal pondru, that is like the lightning that strikes your eyes. It is, so that's how sparkling those prakarams are, because they are gem filled, they are studded with gems, etc. So there's a kind of a poetic exaggeration here, but that's fine. So all poets are given that license. So Minnar Tadamadul Sur Sri Villiputtur. So Sri Villiputtur, that is surrounded by these great prakarams, sparkling prakarams. If anyone says that even once, Endru Urukal, even once, Urukal means once, Endru means thus. So thus, if anyone says so even once, then what will we do? Sonnar, appadi sonnavargaludaya, that is people who said that, their karar kamalam. Kamalam means lotus, karal means padam. So their lotus feet, sudinom, avargaludaya பாத தாமரைகளை எங்களுடைய தலையில் நாங்கள் சூடினோம், சூடுவோம். So we will wear it on our heads. So that essentially says that any adiyar of periyAzhvAr is my talaivar. I will put his feet on my head. And then it says, Munnal, that is once upon a time, that day in the past once, Kiri Aruttan Endru Uraithon. So Kiri, as I have mentioned before, refers to this cloth bundle of money, the prize money that the Pandya king had established. And that was meant for whoever won the contest. So as I mentioned in the last week, when he won the contest, the pole that carries that kiri, it bent low, indicating that he is the winner. And so he was able to cut that bundle. So kiri aruttan means he just cut that bundle and claimed the prize money. So it says, Munnal kiri aruttan endru uraithom. That is, we said that once upon a time, he cut that kiri by winning the contest. That's what we said. And while he cut the kiri, we cut something else. What did we cut? Kirmayinil serum vari aruthom nenjame vandu. So it's talking to the mind. He says, oh mind, while he cut the kiri, we, his adiyars, have cut the paths that lead us to continued birth, the continued cycle of birth and death, etc. So kirmai means lowly. So kirmai init serum vari means vari, of course, means margam. So the path that leads to low outcomes, low outcome, which essentially means the perpetuation of the samsara sagaram. So paths that lead to perpetuation of the samsara sagaram, we cut those paths because we made ourselves adiyar to periyAzhvAr. So you see, our kiri aruttar, nangal vali aruttom. It's a beautiful rhyme. Our kiri aruttar, he cut the prize money, and we cut all the paths that would lead to perpetuation of the samsara margam. Okay, so that this essentially glorifies the periyAzhvAr. Okay, so let's try to chant it. So I will chant each phrase and you will chant after me, okay? Minnar tadam adil sur villibuttor enrorugal. Minnar tadam adil sur villibuttor enrorugal. Sonnar karar kamalam sudinom. Sonnar karar kamalam sudinom. முன்னாள் கிழி அறுத்தான் என்றுரைத்தோம் முன்னாள் கிழி அறுத்தான் என்றுரைத்தோம் கீழ்மையினிற் சேரும் வழி அறுத்தோம் கீழ்மையினிற் சேரும் வழி அறுத்தோம் நெஞ்சமே வந்து நெஞ்சமே வந்து. So now we will recite the whole taniyan together. So say it with me. மின்னாள் தடமதில் சூழ் வில்லிபுத்தோர் என்றொருகால் சொன்னார் கழற்கமலம் சூடினோம் முன்னாள் கிழி அறுத்தான் என்றுரைத்தோம் கீழ்மையினிற் சேரும் வழி அறுத்தோம் நெஞ்சமே வந்து. Okay, so that's the second taniyan. Now we are on to the third and final taniyan, which is also in Tamil, also written by Pandya Bhattar. So once again, this will make reference to that same incident in which Sri periyAzhvAr won the contest at the Pandya king's court. So let's go through the meaning here in English. The king of Bhattars has arrived, thus celebrated the Pandya king. So the Pandya king celebrated the fact that the king of Bhattars has arrived. What does that mean? That means he has identified who the leader of the Vedas is. So, and in this case, he's referring to Sri periyAzhvAr, the king of Bhattar. He means Bhattar in this case refers to the priests of the temple, and of course priests are Vedic scholars in some sense. So the king of Bhattars essentially means the king of the Vedic scholars. So the king of Bhattars or Vedic scholars has arrived, or rather, I have identified the king of the Vedic scholars, thus celebrated the Pandya king. And in celebration, what did the king's men do? And the king's men picked up many conches and blew them in celebration. So that's how they celebrated, making a lot of noise. And of course, he was taken on a elephant procession, which is why you see here Sri periyAzhvAr Purapadu on Yanai Vahanam. That is, after he won the contest, the Pandya king, you put him on the royal elephant and let him ride in a procession through the streets of Madurai. And that's of course when he saw Emperuman and Sri Devi on Garuda Vahanam, and that's when he sang Pallandu Pallandu, etc. So anyway, so that's why there's this Yanai Vahanam there. So the king's men picked up many conches and blew them in celebration. And citing all the required pramanams from the Vedas to destroy his opposition, to defeat his opposition, he had promptly won the contest and cut the kiri that held the prize money. The kiri again is that cloth bundle that held the prize money. And the Azhvar's lotus feet are our object of desire. So he won the contest by citing all the citations that were needed from the Vedas to support his thesis, support his argument. Okay, so that's what he did. Okay, And so the bottom line is that Arva's lotus feet is our object of desire. So namely, we will surrender to that lotus feet of the Arvar. Okay, so let's go through the Taniyan word by word. Pandiyan Kondada Pattarviran Vandan Endre. So the Pandiyan refers to the Pandya king. Vallabhadevan was his name. Kondada means he celebrated. And what did he celebrate? He said, Pattarviran Vandan. That is the Pattarviran, the lord of the butters, or the king of the butters, the king of Vedic scholars, Vandan has arrived in. So that's what the Pandyan king declared, and he celebrated Kondada. India Sangam Eduthuda. So India Sangam, many conches, Eduthu Uda. So these men picked up many conches, and Uda means they blew those conches. So in celebration, the king's men picked up many conches and blew them. And then Vendiya Vedangal Odi Viraindu Kiriyaruthan. This refers to how he won the contest. How did he win the contest? Vendiya Vedangal Odi. Vendiya means whatever the Pramanams were required. Vendiya means required. Vedangal, so the passages from the Vedas, Odi, by citing them. So by citing all the required Vedic passages, he won the contest. And therefore, Viraindu means promptly, quickly, Kiri Aruthan. That is, the contest didn't last for long, it says. Viraindu Kiri Aruthan. He won the contest, so he cut that bundle, the cloth bundle that held the prize money. Padangal, Avarudaya Padangal, his feet, his lotus feet. Yamudaya Patru. Patru means asai, in this our desire. In this case, the object of our desire is his lotus feet. Avarudaya Padangal. Yamudaya Patra, his lotus feet are the object of our desire. Okay, so once again, let's try to chant this. So I'll say it once, and then you say it after me or behind me. Pandiyan Kondada Pattar Viran Vandan Endre. Pandiyan Kondada Pattar Viran Vandan Endre. India Sangam Yeduthuda. India Sangam Yeduthuda. Vendiya Vedangalodi. Vendiya Vedangalodi. Viraindu Kiriyaruthan. Viraindu Kiriyaruthan. Padangal Yamudaya Padangal Yamudaya Vatru. So now the whole Taniyan, so we will say it together. Pandiyan Kondada Pattar Viran Vandan Endre. India Sangam Yeduthuda. Vendiya Vedangalodi. Viraindu Kiriyaruthan. Padangal Yamudaya Vatru. Okay, so now we have learned all the three Taniyans of the periyAzhvAr Tirumozhi. So we are now ready to get into the pAsurams, okay? Now, so this padigam, to refresh your mind, celebrates the Ambuli Paruvam of little Krishna. Ambuli Paruvam means he's old enough to play with the Ambuli Mama or Chanda Mama or the moon. So you will see in this padigam that he is now able to crawl. So he's not an infant. He's probably a few months old, maybe 5-6 months old, if you will. So he is able to crawl. And so you will see a reference to that in the very first pAsuram itself. And he is going to invite the Chanda Mama or Ambuli Mama to come and play with him. But of course, he's not able to talk. So you will find in this whole padigam that little Krishna does not have a speaking part in this play at all, in this padigam at all. And it's actually, this whole padigam is a conversation between Yashoda and the moon. So Yashoda talks on behalf of Krishna to the moon, saying that little Krishna wants to play with the moon and that he should come immediately. And then as the padigam proceeds, we will find that the Ambuli Mama or the moon has not responded. So you will find that Yashoda continues to harp on that. She gets a little impatient as it proceeds. and she gets more or less threatening towards the end of the padigam. So that's beautiful, because that's what exactly a mother would do. A mother would be very willing to bat for her child. She will plead first with the neighbors, and if or whoever needs to do a favor to the child, whoever needs to respond to the child. And if they don't respond appropriately, she's going to get more and more impatient, and eventually she may even get into a threatening mode. Okay. Now, I say that this is a conversation between Yashoda and the moon, but really it's a one-sided conversation, because the only one that you hear speaking is Yashoda. Every pasuram here is spoken by Yashoda. So it's almost like you are listening to a phone conversation, and you only have access to what one person is saying. You're not able to hear the other person. And just from simply by listening to what that person is saying, you can kind of guess what the unseen person, the person that you're not hearing, might have said. Okay. So anyways, it's very beautiful. This whole padigam is beautiful, because the main thing is Krishna does not have a speaking part. And that's very interesting, because the Sarveshwaran, the Lord of the whole universe, he's not able to take care of himself. So he's not able to make a request on behalf of himself. He needs his mother to do that work for him. We normally think of Emperman as Swatantriyan, that is one who has an independent, who is independent, who is able to do anything on his own. Satya Kama, Satya Sankalpa, that is Satya Kama, whatever he desires, he gets it, that will come true. And Satya Sankalpa, whatever he wills, it will come true. But in this case, he's more or less helpless. It's almost as if he has voluntarily give up that Swatantriyam, and is now depending on the ability of Yashoda to get him what he wants. Okay. So the first pasuram, it begins with tanmugattu chutti, which is also the name of the padigam. So many of the padigams in periyAzhvAr Tirumuri are simply named after the first word or the first couple of words of the padigam itself. So the summary message here is Yashoda saying to the moon, what good are your eyes if you don't look at him, if you don't see him, or if you don't look at him? So that's exactly what the summary message is. So let me go through the whole summary in English before we go through the actual pasurams. So Yashoda is talking. So let's think of it that way. So she says, "Oh, young big moon." What do I mean by young big moon? It's a big moon because it's the full moon. So the full circle. It's a Paurnami day, if you will. So the full moon is visible. And it's young because the night is young. So the moon has risen only a couple of hours ago, if you will. So the night is still young, so that the moon is considered to be young as well. So, oh, young big moon, she says to the moon, my son Govindan, referring to little Krishna, with his chutti. So chutti is an ornament that the children may wear on their head. It has a pendant that swings, that hangs in front of the forehead. So you imagine that. So imagine an ornament worn on the head with a pendant standing right in front of the forehead. And so when Krishna crawls, that pendant keeps moving back and forth. And so she says that it is swinging. So, oh, young big moon, my son Govindan with his ornament chutti swinging on his forehead. So this ornament chutti is swinging back and forth. And his anklets, so he's wearing these anklets here, and they have little bells in them. So bells in the sense, there are all these little bead-like things that are inside those closed shells. So those beads, they're making a sound. So those anklets are sounding like bells as he crawls. So she says, so with the chutti swinging and his anklet sounding like bells, he has crawled to the yard. So now he is able to crawl. So he's not able to stand up and walk, because otherwise he would have walked to the yard. So he's only able to crawl to the yard, and is playing in fine sand. So that's what he's doing. So this is something all children like to do. Now you go to the yard and play in dirt or play in sand, if you will. Mannile vilayaaduvathu. So he is playing in fine sand. And then Yashoda goes on to say, if your face, O moon, has got any eyes at all, உன்னோட முகத்துல ஏதாவது கண்ணுன்னு ஒண்ணு இருந்ததுனாக்க, if your face has got any eyes at all, let them attain the supreme purpose for which they were created by seeing or looking at the wonderful sight of his pranks before you go your way, before you go your way. You see, so it's a very beautiful thought. That is, it conveys the thought that we have eyes and their sole purpose is to take delight in looking at Emperman. And of course, you can see Emperman in everything that you see around you. You know, it's certainly in the Archa Murtis that you see in temples and in your Perumal Sannidhi. But then the whole world is his shariram, right? So the whole world in Vishishtaadvaitam, the whole world is supposed to be the shariram of Emperuman, both the Chit and the Achit. So really, you should be able to see him in everything. So the purpose of the eyes, the purpose for which the eyes are created, is so that they can see Emperuman in everything around you. But in this case, you actually have the Vibhava avataram of Emperuman, O Moon. So you have something that future generations may not have, the ability to look at the Vibhava avataram. Vibhava means Emperuman actually coming down to earth in the form of one of those incarnations. So if you miss this chance, your eyes are useless. They are not serving the purpose for which they were created. So if your face has got any eyes at all, and of course all those little black marks, they seem like eyes, what we call craters now. They look like eyes. So if you've got eyes at all, she says, let them attain the supreme purpose for which they were created by looking at the wonderful sight of his pranks before you go your way. So it's a wonderful, beautiful meaning in this pasuram. And notice that she's making a strong pleading on behalf of little Krishna. And she does it in a very pleasant way, because this is the beginning. So you don't want to be threatening right from the very first pasuram. So this is more of a request, but at the same time, she emphasizes the fact that the eyes, the raison d'etre, if you will, the reason for existence of the eyes is so that they may look at and be delighted by viewing Emperuman in whatever form they can. Okay, now let's look at the words of the pasuram. So it says here, tanmugattu chutti, tunga tunga tavarndu boy. Okay, so tavarndu boyiran. So Yashoda says, en payyan kutti Krishnan, avan tavarndu boy, he has gone crawling. Now, she also says, now she talks about the chutti. Chutti is an ornament that with a pendant that hangs just in front of the forehead. So tanmugattu chutti. So the chutti that is on his face, tunga tunga, so it means the swinging back and forth. Normally tunga means to go asleep, to sleep, but in this case tunga means swinging back and forth. Tunga tunga tavarndu boy. So he is crawling, and while he is crawling, that chutti which is on his face, it is swinging back and forth. It's a very beautiful sight, she says, to watch him crawl with that chutti also swinging back and forth. And then another thing that she mentions is that anklets sounding like bells. Ponmuga kingini arpa purdi alaihinran. So this part here refers to that second ornament, Ponmuga kingini. So kingini is the anklet. So kingini is also named after the sound that it makes. Kingini is the sound of the bells. So Ponmuga kingini. So Ponmuga means that the gold-faced anklets. So gold-faced anklets, arpa means sounding, so sounding like bells. So two things she mentions, that the chutti is swinging back and forth, and the anklets are making a nice bell-like sound as he crawls. So she already has mentioned that he has crawled, tavarndu boy, purudi alaihinran, avan muttathirku poi, அங்கே உள்ள புழுதியில் அலைகின்றான், விளையாடிக் கொண்டிருக்கிறான். So he's playing in that fine sand. Purudi normally refers to fine sand. Alayhindran is putting your hand in that fine sand and playing with it. That's what Alayhindran means. So he is playing in that fine sand. En magan Govindan, my son Govindan, Kuthu. So Kuthu means his play, his pranks. Kuthinai, Ila ma madi. So those are the young big moon, the adjectives young and big. Madi means Ambuli or the Chandamama. Ma madi, the big moon, that is the full moon. Ilamamadi, young big moon, young because the night is young. Avanuடைய கூத்தினை, அவனுடைய விளையாட்டை, so his pranks, oh young big moon, நின்முகம் கண்ணுள ஆகில், உன் முகத்தில் கண் என்று ஒன்று இருப்பதாகில். So if your face, if it has eyes at all, நீ, you, inge, here, noki, look here, po, and before you go your way. So she says, if your face has got any eyes at all, you had better look at him before you go. In Magan Govindan Kutina Ilamamadi, Ninmugam Kannulawagil ni inge noki po. That's what she says. Okay, so she kind of challenges him. You think you got eyes? You say you've got eyes? Well, I won't believe that you've got eyes if you ignore this beautiful sight. That's what she says. Okay. Now I want to bring up a couple of things to your attention. Okay. So Yashoda is pointing to the moon. Look how exciting it is. Look at what my son is doing. Now the way she is saying it, you would think that little Krishna is doing something out of this world. Maybe he's standing up on his head, for example, standing upside down, on his head. But that's not what he is doing. All he's doing is he's gone to dirt and he's playing in dirt. But Yashoda is very much excited. It's as if he has done something that no other kid in the world has done. So you see, that's one beautiful thing that comes out of this pasuram. It shows the pride of a mother in looking at anything that the child does. How many of us remember with fondness, with delight, the very first step our children took, right? So that the first step that our child took, we were so excited by it, almost as if no other child in the world had done something like that, when in reality, every child in the world that has come before our child has done that, including ourselves, right? So it is that motherly pride, which is to feel a sense of accomplishment in anything even ordinary that a child does. And that's exactly what this little Krishna is doing. All that he's doing is Purudi Alayindran, but it shows the beautiful mother's pride in making a world out of this. It's almost as if it's a wonder even greater than the Grand Canyon, the Niagara Falls, and all the other worldly wonders put together. Okay, so that's one thing that you should note out of this. It shows that motherly pride in a very beautiful fashion. But then another way to look at this Purudi Alayindran is that you see, when you and I and our children play in dirt, there's nothing special in it. But when little Krishna plays in that Purudi, well, that is special, because you see, who created that Purudi in the first place? Who created this world? So he created this world, and later you will see when I refer to one of Sri Nammarvar's pAsurams, he also measured this world. So the mannai avandan undakinan, the mannai avandan alandan. So you see, he's playing in something that he created. So in a way, he's admiring it. He's playing in the sand that he created. He is playing in the sand that he measured in the Vamana Trivikrama Avataram, right? Now that's something that is special, because he's admiring his own creation. He's admiring his own work of art, if you will. That's something that you and I will not be able to claim. So that is special after all. So in one way, it just shows the motherly pride. Purudi Alayindran, such an ordinary event, but it still shows the motherly pride. But looking at it another way, he's not an ordinary child. He is Sarveshwaran. The whole world was created by him. The whole world was measured by him. And so he's playing with something that he created. How many of us can say that, right? And okay, so that's one thing to look at. We will go through that in more detail when we go to the next slide. And then she also talks about கூத்து. The word கூத்து is beautiful. என்ன கூத்து அடிக்கிறான்? ஐயோ, என் பையனோட கூத்தை என்னால தாங்கவே முடியல. You'll hear mothers, Tamil mothers often saying, என்னோட பையனோட கூத்து அப்பப்பா என்னால தாங்கவே முடியல. That I'm not able to stand the pranks that he does, all the mischiefs that he does. Okay, now of course, normally when they say that, it comes across like a complaint. When you look at it on the surface, it looks like a complaint. But really, it's actually bragging underneath the surface, right? Because essentially what they're saying is, my son is so energetic. Look at all the other children who are so docile. who are acting as if they have no energy at all. Look at my son, how active he is, how energetic he is, etc. So she uses the word கூத்து in a beautiful sense. அவனுடைய விளையாட்டுக்களை பாரு. And of course, later I will have some examples. After all, விளையாட்டு is something that Emperman does very beautifully, right? He plays games with us all the time. Okay. So anyway, so that's the summary meaning. So let's look at some elaboration. So one of the things that Yashoda says is, அவன் புழுதி அலைகின்றான். அவன் புழுதி அலையறத எவ்வளவு அழகா புழுதி அலையறான் பாரு, ஓ அம்புலி மாமா, ஓ அம்புலி, that's what she says. But so I say, so அவன் உண்டாக்கிய மண் தானே அது, அதுபோல் அவனே திரிவிக்ரமனாய் அளந்த மண்ணல்லவோ அது. So it's a world that he created. It's a sand that he created. It's a sand that he measured. And this is referred to beautifully in a Tiruvaimuri pasuram by Sri Nammarvar, who is in Nayika Bhavam. So Nayika Bhavam is where the Sri Nammarvar imagines himself to be the Nayaki or the lady lover, and Emperman as the male lover. Now in this case, so this pasuram, even though it's referred to as Nayika Bhavam, it's actually the mother of the Nayaki who is the speaker in this pasuram, okay? So this is Tiruvaimuri 441. So imagine the mother of the Nayaki saying this. She's talking about her daughter who has fallen hopelessly lovesick with Emperman, and she doesn't know what to do about it because this daughter is not interested in anything at all. That's what she's going to say. That girl who has fallen hopelessly in love with Emperman, and of course Emperman is not with her. So that's the problem. Mannai irundu thuravi. So she puts her hand in the sand and adai thuravi, and she caresses it, picks it up, etc. Mannai irundu thuravi. Vamanan man idu enno. So you see, that's very beautiful. She says, this sand is the sand that was measured by Vamana. Vamana in the Vamana Trivikrama Avataram. See, how many of us will do that, right? So, how many of us will see the things around us as manifestations of Emperman, even though we know that to be the case, right? So, for example, there's a particular Bhagavad Gita verse that I'm quoting here. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra, yo mam pashyati sarvatra, he who in me sees everything. So he who sees, he who sees me everywhere. Sarvatra means everywhere. So yo mam pashyati means sees, sarvatra everywhere. So he who sees me everywhere. And then this Bhagavad Gita verse goes on to say, and then sarvam cha mayi pashyati, and sees everything in me. So one who sees me everywhere and also sees everything in me. So tasyaham na pranashyami, I am never lost to him. Sachamena pranashyati, nor are they lost to me. So you see, they are not lost to me. So in the sense, they can always find me. Anybody who sees me everywhere, anybody who sees everything in me, they can always find me. They are not, I am never lost to them, nor are they lost to me. When he says, nor are they lost to me, he means that I always keep them in my heart. I always protect them. I will make sure that they are doing fine. And that's exactly what this embodies, namely that this Parankusha Nayaki, that is the name for Sri Nammarvar, when he assumes the Nayika Bhavam, that Parankusha Nayaki sees me everywhere, sees me in this dirt by saying that this is the dirt that he measured, etc. Okay? So mannai irundu thuravi vamanan mannidu ennum. So you see that the Purudi Alaihinran is very special when Krishna does it, as opposed to when you and I do it. And then the rest of the pasuram goes on to describe the other things that this Parankusha Nayaki does. Vinnai tholudu avan mevu vaihundam endru kaattum. Okay, she looks at the sky with folded hands. That is, tholudu means with folded hands. She looks at the sky with folded hands and says, that's the Vaikuntham where he resides. And then kannai ulneer malgan endru, with her grief overflowing from her eyes. That's very beautiful. There's almost never a pasuram of Sri Nammalvar that you can read without it doing something to your heart. Kannai ulnir malgan indru kadal vannan ennum anne. So with grief overflowing from her eyes in the form of tears, she says, pittu pidithavar pol, my Lord is ocean hued. Kadal vannan ennum anne. So this mother of the daughter is speaking to a neighbor, if you will, maybe another a peer of hers. And then so she says, பெண்ணை பெருமயல் செய்தார்க்கு என் செய்கேன் பைவளையீரே. Think of her as talking to a group of neighbors. So she says, பைவளையீரே. So she says, the one who made my daughter hopelessly lovesick, what can I do to that Lord? பெண்ணை பெருமயல் செய்தார்க்கு. பெருமயல் mean அவளை பித்து பிடிக்க வைத்தவன், அவளை இவ்வளவு அதிகமாக காதல் கொள்ள வைத்தவனை நான் என்ன செய்ய முடியும்? So you can see that helplessness of the mother. She doesn't know how to bring the two of them together. She doesn't know how to take her daughter out of that almost hopeless lovesickness. But the point that I want to make is that the mannai irundu thuravi vamanan mannidhu ennum, and that just goes on to show that the purudi alaiginran is very different from your child and my child doing that purudi alaivadu. Okay, and then in another part of the pasuram, you know that Yashoda says, Yanmagan Govindan Kutinai Ilamamadi Ninmugam Kannulavagil Ni Inge Nokippo. So Yanmagan Govindan Kutu. So Kutu means Vilayattu. But of course, Vilayattu is something that is very easily associated with Emperman, right? You see, அவனுக்கு எல்லாமே விளையாட்டு தானே, இது உலகமே அவனுக்கு லீலா விபூதி அல்லவா. So normally we talk about two kinds of vibhutis. Vibhuti means wealth, sottu, if you will. There's one vibhuti which is the Paramapadam, that is Nitya Vibhuti, that is the eternal Vibhuti, that is the eternal sottu, the eternal treasure, if you will. And then all this manifested universe, that is his Leela Vibhuti. So that is his playground, if you will. So that's where he delights in creating the world, creating people, and seeing what they do, etc. So the whole world is a playground for him. So that's why it's appropriately called the Leela Vibhuti, right? So nammai padaithathe oru vilayattu thane. So the very fact that he created us, that's a vilayattu for him. That's a game for him. Now in Kambaramayanam, the very first verse in Kambaramayanam, that of course usually the first verse is a kind of a prayer to the Lord as he starts writing the compositions. So in the very first pasuram, the very first verse of Kambaramayanam, Kamban says this, Ulagam yavayum tamulavakalum nilai varuthalum neekalum. So he talks about all the vilayattus, all the games that Emperman plays. I've highlighted the word vilayattu because that corresponds directly to the kuthu that Emperman is very fond of. So Kamban says, Ulagam yavayam, that is all this universe, tam ula akalum, that means that creating it, adu ulladaga akuvadum, adu irukindrathu endru akuvadum. So essentially creating this whole universe, that's one of his vilayattus, he says. Nilai peruthalum, sustaining it, that is another vilayattu, he says. Neekalum, destroying it, in Pralaya Kalam, for example, destroying it, that is also his vilayattu. So he identifies all those three vilayattus, but then he goes on to say that those are not that's not a complete list of all the vilayattus or plays that he does, or the games that he plays. Neekalum, Neengala Alahila vilayattu. Neengala means unending. So he has unending games, says Kamban. And Alahila means immeasurable, alavilla. That's it. Alahila means alavilla, innumerable, immeasurable, vilayattu udayar. So he has all those games, unending and innumerable games. Udayar, that who has that? Our Talaivar, he is our Lord. He's talking about Emperman. Annavarke, to that Emperman, Sharan Nangale. So we fall at his feet. So avanikke naam sharanagati adayindrom. So you see, vilayattu is something that comes very naturally to Emperman. So obviously that comes very naturally to Govindan as well, to Yashoda's son as well. And so that's why she says, Ninmagan Govindan Kutinai Ilamamadi Ninmugham Kannulavagil Niinge Nokippo, she says. So she says, you must have heard about Emperman's vilayattus. Well, look at the vilayattu he's playing, because nobody else, not very many people are fortunate enough to see him doing a vilayattu, playing a game in Vibhava Avatarams. We who live in this Kali Yugam, for example, we are destined to see him only in Archavataram form, in the Murti form in temples and our Perumal Sannadhis, etc. We are not blessed enough to see him in a Vibhava Avataram. But this moon at the time of Krishna Avataram had a chance to see him, actually playing a game. So consider yourself fortunate. If you have eyes, you better look here before you go your way. Okay, that's very beautiful. Okay, and then she also says, Ninmugam kannula agil neeyinge nokippo. If you have any eyes at all on your face, you better look here before you go. Now, again, I mentioned in that context that if you have any eyes at all, then the sole reason that they exist is to take pleasure in looking at Emperuman. Kannirande irupade kannanai kanbadakandro. The fact that you have two eyes is because they ought to be looking at Krishna or Emperuman in whatever form, right? You're already familiar with the verse from Aichiyar Kuravai. It's a very famous verse sung by M.S. Subulakshmi. பெரியவனை மாயவனை பேருலகமெல்லாம் விரி கமல உந்தியுடை விண்ணவனை கண்ணும் திருவடியும் கையும் திருவாயும் செய்ய கரியவனை காணாத கண்ணென்ன கண்ணே கண்ணிமைத்து காண்பார்தம் கண்ணென்ன கண்ணே. So that பெரியவன், that big one, மாயவன், that wonderful one, பேருலகமெல்லாம் விரி கமல உந்தியுடை விண்ணவனை கண்ணும். So he created this whole world out of his nabi, essentially through Brahma. Virikamala undiyidai vinnavane kannum thiruvadiyum kayyum thiruvayum seyya. So he identifies all the things that are red on Emperuman's Divya Mangala Tirumeni. His eyes are red, his Tiruvadi is red, his Tirukai is red, that is the palms of his hand, and the Tiruvai, of course, is like the adharams, they are red as well. Seyya means red. So he has beautiful red eyes, Tiruvadi, Tirukai, Tiruvai, etc. And then, but his whole body the rest of his body is dark and black. So therefore he first in the Ilangovadigal refers to him as Kariyavan. Kariyavanai Kanada Kannenna Kanne. If an eye has not seen this dark Lord, then what kind of an eyes are they? They have not achieved the purpose for which those eyes were created. Kariyavanai Kanada Kannenna Kanne. And not only that, even if you do look at him, but you blink your eyes when you look at him, then they have lost the purpose for which they were created. Kannimaittu kanbardam kannenna kanne. யாரு கண்ணை இமைத்து கொண்டு அவனை பார்க்கிறார்களோ அவரோட கண்ணெல்லாம் என்ன கண்ணு? They are more like puns. They are more like sores. They are not exactly like eyes, he says. Okay, so it goes on to say that the sole reason that the eyes exist is because they want to delight by looking at Emperuman in whatever form you can. So for us, that form is mostly Archavataram, right? The Divya Mangala Vigrahams that we are able to see in temples and in our Perumal Sannadhis. And even in a Bharatiyar poem, Kannan and Kadalan, Bharatiyar also assumes the Naika Bhavam in some of his poems. Kannan and Kadalan means Kannan, my male lover, Kannan, my beau, if you will. And there, Bharatiyar, as an Nayaki, says that because she has not seen him in a very, very long time, the memory of his face is fading. Asai Mugam Marandu Poche, a very beautiful song. It's a very heart-rending song. Asai Mugam Marandu Poche. So there she says, that is she meaning Bharatiyar in Nayaki form, Kannan Mugam Marandu Ponal, inda Kangal Irundu Payanundo. That is, if the memory of his face is fading from me, is there any purpose in the eyes that I have? The eyes that I have they served their purpose at all? That the fact that they have not registered his image well enough for me to remember it fully, that means that they have not served their purpose. The eyes have not lived up to the purpose for which they were put on me. Okay, so Kannan Mukham Marandu Ponal, that Kangal Irundum Payanundo. Okay, so that's exactly the kind of message that Yashoda conveys to the moon. Ninmukham Kannulavagil Niinge no Kippo. Now, there are other people who have also sung the praise of Emperuman's eyes. For example, it says here in Amalanadipiran, pasuram number 10, Tiruppanazhvar says, Kondal Vandanai, Kovalanai, Vannayundavayanin Ullam Kavandhanai, Undergone Ani Arangan, Yen Amudinai Kandagangal Matrundrinai Kanave. He goes on to say, he's my nectar, En Amudu Avan. Then the Emperuman, he is En Amudu. She's talking specifically about the Emperuman in Sri Rangam. And he says, that Emperuman, he is my nectar, En Amudu. Avanai Kandagangal, the eyes that have seen him, Matrundrinai Kanave. So that's how beautiful they are. So anything that I do, if I look at anything else after they have looked at Emperuman in Sri Rangam, then they have lost the purpose for which they are created. The brilliant effect that was created by seeing him, that effect would be lost if I stoop to see anything else. And of course, he was fortunate enough to merge with Emperuman right after he sang the last verse of Amalanadipiran. So with what he said, that came to very true for him in a very storybook ending. But it's not just the eyes that are meant for Emperuman. Everything that we do, Nammudiya Manam, Vaku, Kayam, they are all meant to be immersed in the experience of Emperuman. Our mind, Manam is mind, Vaku, our words, Kayam, our body, they are all meant for the experience of Emperuman. You may remember that in Tirupavai number 5, Mayanai Mannu Vadamudurai Maindanai, Andal says there explicitly, Tuyo Mai Vande, that is, we should come clean, after a good bath, etc. Nam, Tu Malar Tu Vid Turdu. See, the Tu Malar Tu Vid Turdu, that tells you that our Kayam, our body, should be engaged in the experience of Emperuman. We should be showering flowers at him with our hands. You see, that's something that Kayam, our body, will do. And Torudu, so we bow our head. So that's also something our Kayam should be doing. So Tumalar Tuvi Torudu. So in this very short phrase of 2 lines, she talks about things that our Kayam should be doing, our Vaku should be doing, our Manam should be doing. This Tumalar Tuvi Torudu is what our Kayam should be doing. Vayinal Padi, that is, we should be singing his praise with our mouth, with our words. That, of course, is what the Vaku should be doing. And then Manam, Manattinal Sindhika. With our mind, we should be meditating on him. Padi Manattinal Sindhika. So you see, it's not just our eyes that should be engaged in the experience of Emperuman. It's everything that Emperuman has given us, all the organs, the limbs that we have, all the sensory organs that we have, they should all be engaged in the experience of Emperuman. You remember we went through the Anjiraya Madanarai, Aliyattai, Niyamnen, Anjiraya. So in that padigam of Sri Nammarvar, there was one particular verse which said, Nadadam Alarnadi Naldorum Naranandan. I didn't have the space to put it there, but it's familiar to you, so you may remember it. Nadadam Alarnadi Naldorum Naranandan, Vadada Malaradikkil Vaikave Vahukindre, Vidadi Vitriruthal Vinayatral Ensayvado, Udadu Panivadai Urethirai Anadudale. So what Parankusha Nayaki says there is, we are created so that every day we should be seeking fresh new flowers. Nada the Malar Nadi, that is rare fresh flowers. Naldorum, every day. Naranandan Vada the Malaradikkil Vaikave. It's very beautiful. You see, we should be putting flowers at the feet of Emperuman. But Parankusha Nayaki beautifully refers to his feet as Vada the Malar Adi. So you see, his feet are themselves lotus feet. So they are like a flower. So we are submitting flowers, we are presenting flowers to a flower, his lotus feet. But there's a difference. Avanudaya Tiruvadi is Vada the Malar. His lotus feet is a lotus that will never wither. Whereas all the flowers that we submit at his feet are flowers that will wither. So you see, Naranandan, Vada the Malaradikkil Vaikave Vahukindre. So you see, Parankusha Nayaki is convinced that the sole reason that we have been created is to find these rare flowers every day and put them at the lotus feet of Emperuman, the never withering lotus feet of Emperuman. So that's how we have been ordained to do. That she says, Vidadi Vitriruthal Vinayatral Ensayvado. Instead, what am I? I am the king of non-doer. I have been coronated as the king of non-doer, she says. வீடாடி வீற்றிருத்தல், ஒரு சிம்மாசனத்துல வீற்றிருக்கிற மாதிரி சொல்றா அவள். What simhasanam or what throne is she referring to? The throne of not doing what I was designated to do. So that's very beautiful. வீடாடி வீற்றிருத்தல் வினையற்றது என் செய்வதோ, வினையற்றது, this hapless one, this one who does not have the good fortune, vinayatradhi en sevado, what am I going to do? Udadu panivadai, she's referring to the cold wind, and she's sending that cold wind as a messenger. Udadu panivadai, o panivadaye, that moves here and there. Uraithu, go tell him that, and then come back here, irai yanadu udale, come back and split my body asunder, because there's no reason for me to live. It's very beautiful. But the point that I'm making with that verse is again that we are created to serve him. Every part of us is created to serve him. So for example, this beautiful verse, Vichitra Deha Sampatir Ishwaraya Niveditam. The sampat, the wealth that we have in this wonderful body, that sampat, that wealth has been created solely for Ishwaraya Niveditam. Avanukku nivedanam seivadarkku endre padaikkappattirukkirathu. Okay, so that we dedicate it to Emperor's service. Okay, so that's the elaboration of the very first verse. So it's a very beautiful verse, and so you can see that even though we are in the context of a mother lobbying with the moon to come and take a look at her son, or to come and play with her son, there are a lot of other beautiful things that revolve around it. There's beautiful thoughts and beautiful messages in it, and which we have been able to look at. Okay, so here is my poetic translation in the Anapest meter. Anapest is dot dot dum dot dot dum dot dot dum. So it says here, and his chutti, it swings back and forth on his forehead with glee as he crawls, and his anklet, it's gold-faced, it chimes, and he plays with abandon in sand. He's my son, little Govindan's pranks. Oh, great moon, you're so young and so full. On your face, if you're blessed with two eyes, I suggest that you see and then go. Okay, that's exactly, if you just follow the colors, you will know what part of this translation matches what part of the original pasuram. Okay, so now we are ready to chant this pasuram. Okay, so I will say each phrase once, and after I've said it, you can chant it. Tanmugattu chutti, tanmugattu chutti, தூங்கத் தூங்கத் தவழ்ந்து போய், தூங்கத் தூங்கத் தவழ்ந்து போய், பொன்முகக் கிண்கிணியார்ப்ப, பொன்முகக் கிண்கிணியார்ப்ப, புழுதி அலைகின்றான், புழுதி அலைகின்றான், என் மகன் கோவிந்தன், என் மகன் கோவிந்தன், கூத்தினை இளமாமதி, கூத்தினை இளமாமதி, நின்முகம் கண்ணுளவாகில், நின்முகம் கண்ணுளவாகில், நீ இங்கே நோக்கிப்போ, நீ இங்கே நோக்கிப்போ. Okay, so let's chant the whole pasuram together. தன்முகத்து சுட்டி, தூங்கத் தூங்கத் தவழ்ந்து போய், பொன்முகக் கிண்கிணியார்ப்ப, புழுதி அலைகின்றான், என் மகன் கோவிந்தன், கூத்தினை இளமாமதி, நின்முகம் கண்ணுளாகில், நீ இங்கே நோக்கிப்போ. And this pasuram, like the first pasuram of all padigams, is meant to be chanted twice. So the double lines here, and also this circled R for repeat. It's just meant to be a more prominent symbol to say that this pasuram is meant to be repeated. Okay, so that's the first pasuram. So the main thing is, you can see that Yashoda has been quite pleasant, even though she does imply that if your eyes don't look at him, they have not achieved the purpose for which they were given to you. Okay? Okay, now I want to say that there is a beautiful rendition of selected verses of this Yashoda Bhavam from periyAzhvAr Tirumari, rendition by Bombay Sisters. And I know that at various points I have sent you a YouTube link to that. So I just want to mention it. So I'm not able to play it because if I play it now, then there may be some copyright violations. I don't want to get into that, but you are allowed to watch it at home. So if you just do a search for Divya Prabandham full songs jukebox, you will see this particular video. And then what it does is it doesn't, it's not a rendition of all of the Yashoda Bhavam. There are just too many pAsurams there. So it probably selects a few of the pAruvams or the stages, and probably about 2 pAsurams from the chosen stages. For example, you can see that tanmugattu appears here. That's the padigam that we are learning now. So there are 2 pAsurams from this tanmugattu that are also rendered by Bombay Sisters, and they're very beautiful. Once you understand the meaning of those pAsurams from this class, and then you listen to them, you will really enjoy them tremendously. I think that this tanmugattu starts at the timestamp of 5:50 on this YouTube video. Okay, so instead of putting the link of the video, I'm just giving you the title of the video so that you can do a search for that particular video. Okay, now the second verse of this padigam. So the second verse, so here the message. So Yashoda continues to talk to Ambuli. And so we are to infer from the fact that she continues to talk that Ambuli has not done what Yashoda was asking him to do, namely to stop and look at him and play with him, etc. So that's what you will assume just from the fact that Yashoda is continuing to make her request, make perhaps a stronger request to Ambuli. Okay, so here Yashoda is going to say, don't you go hiding behind the clouds. So you can see that Yashoda's message, the Yashoda's tone is getting a little bit more impatient, okay? Because you will see that happening throughout the padigam. Don't you go hiding behind the clouds. Don't look for an excuse. Don't say that, oh, well, yeah, I couldn't see little Krishna because I was hidden by the clouds. So don't venture behind the clouds because I know exactly what you're up to. So that's what she's saying here. Manjil Marayade Mamadi, she says. By the way, so this is it's a picture painted by Raja Ravi Verma. So it's a very beautiful picture of Yashoda with little Krishna in her hands. And presumably she's pointing to the moon, and little Krishna is pointing to the moon as well. That's what the pAsuram is going to say. So anyway, here's the meaning of this pAsuram. So again, Yashoda says, oh, big moon, because it's a full moon. This little child that you're seeing is unique to me, okay? So you may think he's just one of a billion children on this planet, but you see, I care about this child more than anyone else. So that's because I'm a mother. So my child means a lot more to me than any other child. For you, it may be different, but for me, this child is very unique to me. I care more about him. He's more special to me than anyone else. So this child is very unique to me, and he fills me with bliss like sweet nectar. So the word amudu is a very beautiful word to indicate that someone is very sweet to you. So, and that is used very often to refer to Emperuman and Ara Amudan, for example. Anyway, I'll come back to that point later in another slide. So he fills me with bliss like sweet nectar. So he's amudu, she's going to say, and he is my Lord. So you see, the idea that at least periyAzhvAr's Yashoda knows that he is not just a child, he's also the Lord. That comes repeatedly in the pAsuram. So she says, and he is my Lord. And she says, with his cute, tiny hands, he points at you repeatedly. So he keeps pointing at you repeatedly and calls you to come and play in his maralai, in his child's babble. Then aren't you inclined to play with him? I'll be very surprised if you're not. Come running happily. Don't go hiding behind those clouds. Okay, so the message is getting stronger from Yashoda. So you okay? I see that you're not exactly responding to my message. Don't go, you better not go hiding behind the clouds. And you'll see later that her message becomes even threatening as you get towards the end of this padigam. Okay. Okay, so let's go through the words of this pasuram. So she says, Yen siru kuttan. So yen siru kuttan, yen kuttan, of course, is a very affectionate word to refer to a little child. Oh, enoda kuttanavan. You say that, right? Enoda kutti payan. That's what you would say, right? So yen siru kuttan. I mentioned a pasuram from a lullaby of Devaki. Devaki, which she says a lullaby she would have sung if she had had possession of little Krishna. That was a pasuram written by Kulashekara Alvar in Perumal Tirumari, where he says, he's like a Yanakutti, right? As he says, Alainil Karumbanna Talo, oh, one who is like the beautiful sugar cane that is ready, that is sweet and ready for the factory. That's so right. Alainil Karumbanna Talo, Vera Podaham Annavan Talo. Vera means Yanai, Bodham means little baby elephant. Vera podaham annavan talo. Enoda yana kuttiye ni thungada kanna. That's what Devaki says she would have sung as a lullaby if only she had had continued possession. So that those beautiful affectionate words, pet words to refer to little Krishna. So here periyAzhvAr says, En siru kuttan. periyAzhvAr Yashoda says, Venoda siru kuttan akum. So that's what she says. En siru kuttan, my little child, எனக்கு ஓர் இன்னமுது. See the word or, yes, it's a very short word, but or, what does or means? Or means one. Now, what does one mean here? One means not just one, but means unique. There's one, there's no second, there's nothing else like him. So when something is unique, you are allowed to use the word or to refer to it. And that's the exact meaning in which Yashoda uses it in this context. Yanakku or, so he is very unique to me, and he is in amudu, he is a sweet nectar to me. So that or clearly means that nobody in this world means as much to her as little Krishna. He is Yanakku or innamudu Em Piran. He is my Lord. Again, revealing the fact that she knows that he is Emperuman in a child's form. Tan siru kaigalal, unnode pinju kaigalala, with his tiny little tender cute little hands, kati kati arekkinran. Kati means to point at. So he keeps pointing at you, O moon, O Ambuli. அவன் உன்னையே திரும்ப திரும்ப காட்டி காட்டி வா வா வான்னு சொல்றான். அவன் காட்டி காட்டி அழைக்கின்றான். He is calling you Anjana Vannanodu. So Anjana Vannan, this dark complexioned one. Anjana means the kanmai, the kohl that women wear for their eyes, or even children wear for their eyes. That kanmai is referred to as Anjanam. In this case, Anjanam is referred to here because he is dark. His body is dark as that kanmai. Anjana Vannanodu. Vannam means color. So the one who has the same color as that kanmai, with him, Adal Ada Urudiyel, game, if you want to play. Urudiyel means if you are determined, but really it means if you are inclined to play a game. So, O Ambuli, if you are inclined to play Ada, a game, Adal, with this Anjana Vannan, with this dark complexioned one, Manjil Marayade. Manjil means cloud. So Manjil Marayade, don't go hiding behind the clouds, O Ambuli. Mahamadi, big moon. So she's flattering that moon. Mahamadi, ரொம்ப பெருசா இருக்க நீ, எவ்வளவு பெருசா இருக்க தெரியுமா? So you see, she is using flattery to appeal to the good nature of Ambali Mama, of this Chanda Mama. So it's not that she is trying to be quite unfriendly right from the beginning. She does try to appeal to him. Previously, she said, oh, young, big moon, she said. But now she says, oh, big moon. So in the previous pasuram, she was trying to flatter him by saying, oh, you're so young and you're so big. You're so young, you're not old, etc. And she's continuing that flattering remark here as well. Oh, Mahamadi, oh, big moon, Magirndu, take pleasure, be happy, come with glee, Odiva, come running. Okay, so do not hide behind the clouds, oh, big moon. come running happily. Okay, so that's what she is saying here. So there's no excuse. So you cannot tell me later that you couldn't see Krishna because you were behind the clouds. Okay, now by way of elaboration, so in the word innamudu, she says that very beautifully here. En shiru kuttan ivan enakku or innamudu. He's very unique, very special, and he's a sweet little nectar to me, sweet nectar to me. Now the word amudu is a word that is used to describe Emperuman by a lot of different Arvars. If you just look at Thiruvaimuri, for example, in Thiruvaimuri, Sri Nammarvar never tires of calling him Amudu. So if you scan the 1100 or so pAsurams of Thiruvaimuri, you will find at least 50, and I'm not exaggerating, you will find at least 50 references to Emperuman as Amudu. So I just wanted to give you a few examples so that you can see that the word Amudu as used by Yashoda, correlates very well with the word Amudu used by the Arvars, particularly Sri Nammarvar. Okay, so I've highlighted the word Amudu in a few pAsurams that I have pulled from Thiruvaimuri. So the very first pAsuram, does it ring a bell to you? Aramude adiyen budalam ninpal anpaye நீராய் அலைந்து கரைய உருக்குகின்ற நெடுமாலே சீரார் சென்னல் கவரி வீசும் செழுநீர் திருக்குழந்தை ஏறார் கோலம் திகழக் கிடந்தாய் கண்டே நம்மானே. Okay, so I think it should ring a bell if you are familiar with the history. So this is the pAsuram that Sri Nathamuni, the great Acharya, heard at Kattumannar Kovil. It was sung by a group that was visiting from a Malay Nadu. Malay Nadu could have been, some part of Karnataka, for example. So they were singing this padigam. That is the very first verse of that padigam. Ara Omude Adiyem. And so when, of course, Sri Nathamuni had not heard this padigam before. And when he heard the pAlashruti of this padigam, the pAlashruti said these 10 verses out of 1,000 created by Sri Nammarvar. So that's what tipped him off. That's what tipped him off, that there is a giant trove of pAsurams behind this 10. He wasn't even aware of this 10. And not only that, he was not aware of the other 990 or so that are referred to in the pAlashruti of this pAsuram. So that's what set him off on a search to go and recover those remaining verses out of that 1,000. And he ended up achieving that. He recovered not only that the 1,000 or so pAsurams of Thiruvaimuri, he recovered all the 4,000 pAsurams. But anyway, so you can see that the word Amude is referring to the Tirukudandai Emperuman, whose name is Ara Omude, insatiable nectar. So he says, "Oh, insatiable nectar, my shariram out of love for you, adiyen vadalam ninbal anbaye, நீராய் அலைந்து கரைய, it's melting like water. That's what you have done to me. உருக்குகின்ற நெடுமாலே." Like I said, when you read Thiruvaimuri pAsurams, it's very seldom that you come away without your heart, feeling a weight of sadness at being away from Emperuman, for example. Ninbal anbaye, நீராய் அலைந்து கரைய. You are melting me, O Lord. And you're melting me, and I'm kind of turning into water. That's what it says. Nirai alayindu karaya urukkuginra nedumale. So you're melting like water. That's what you have done to me. And then it says in Sirar Sennal Kavari Visum Sherunir Tirukudandai. So in Sherunir Tirukudandai, in water-rich Tirukudandai, were fertile paddy fields, Sirar Sennal Kavari Visum. There's a beautiful poetic imagination. They sway in the breeze. The paddy fields, the paddies sway in the breeze as if doing a samaram service. Kind of a samaram is a fan, hand fan, if you will. Samaram service to Emperuman. So apparently even the paddy fields, the nel vailher, just from the breeze, blowing breeze, they kind of bend this way and that way as if they're doing samaram service to Emperuman. And then he says, "Erar kolam tigarak kidandai kande, erar kolam tigarak kidandai kandeni ammane." So in a beautiful Divya Mangala Vigraham, you lie in Kidanda Tirukolam, "Oh my Lord, and I've seen it," he says. Okay. Another pAsuram, also using the word Amude. "Adiyen mevi amarhindra amude imeyo adipadiye kodiyai adubul udayane kolak kanivai perumane செடியார் வினைகள் தீர்மருந்தே திருவேங்கடத்தம் பெருமானே நொடியார் பொழுதும் குணபாதம் காண நோலாது ஆற்றேனே. The fourth line here is very, very touching. So it says here, Adiyen may be amarhindra. So, oh sweet, sweet nectar for me to see and enjoy. And then Imayor Adipatiye, Lord of Devas and Nityasuris. Then Kudiyai Adubul Udayane, oh one who has that fierce bird Garuda on his flag, the one that's fierce to your enemies. Kola Kanivai Permane, one who has beautiful kovai fruit like red lips. And then he says, Shediyar Vinaigal Tir Marinde. You know, my Vinaigal, my karma, they are like plants, not like plants. They are shedi. The word shedi here refers to weeds, you know, the overgrown weeds that you don't really want. So it says here that my karma has grown like overgrown weeds. You know, I didn't really plant them. I don't really want them, but they are there. But you are the marundu. You are the medicine that will take care of them. Chediyar vinegal tir marunde Thiruvengadattam Perumane. So this is a Mangala Shashanam of Thiruvengadattan. Nodiyar Poludum Vanapadam Kana Noladu Atrene. This is very beautiful. It says Nodiyar Poludum Uru Nodi Kudas, not even for a second, he says, Nodiyar Poludum Atrene. I cannot tolerate without seeing your feet, even for a second, he says, Nodiyar Poludum Atrene. And what is it that he is not able to do without Kana, Un Padam Kana? Una Padam Kana means your feet, to see your feet. So even for a tiniest of time moments, I'm not able to do without seeing your feet, your lotus feet. And then he says, this is a very beautiful, interesting expression, Nolade. That is what he says is, I have not done any nonbu. So Nolade means I have not done any nonbu. I've not done any vratam. I've not done any nonbu. I've not done any penance or anything like that. You know, people who have done all those things, they may be justified in being impatient. You know, I've done this, I've done that, etc. And they may be impatient in wanting to see you. But guess what? Even though I've not done any of this, I am even more impatient, or Permane, to see your lotus feet, and also not to be, you know, to see it all the time, and not even for a moment not see that lotus feet. So it's very beautiful. I just cannot tolerate being there without seeing your lotus feet, even for a moment. Okay, well, just two more pasurams. Unil var uire nallai po unnai petru vanular peruman madhusudan ennamman தானும் யானும் எல்லாம் தன்னுள்ளே கலந்தொழிந்தோம் தேனும் பாலும் நெய்யும் கண்ணலும் அமுதம் வத்தே. Again, the fourth line is very beautiful here. Okay, what is this? Here he is talking to his mind. You know that Nammarvar is very famous for talking to his mind. So you will find that Tuyararas, even in his very first pasuram of Thiruvaimuri, Uyarvara Uyarnalam Udayavan Yavanavan, he finishes off by saying, Tuyararu Sudaradi Tuldu Elu En Manane. So that's a message to his mind. So this is a message to his mind as well. So Unilvar Uire. So by Uire he is calling his mind. So he says here, O mind that lives in this Shariram, Nallaipo. He says you're good and virtuous. Why does he say that? The fact that you are now seeking Emperuman, that makes you good and virtuous. It looks like in previous births, you did not have the good sense to do that. But at least in this birth, you are doing that. So ni nallaipo, ni nallavanda, nallavanappa en maname. That's what he says. Oh, you are good and virtuous, oh my mind. Unnai petru vanular peruman madhusudan ennamman. So it says here, Unnai Petre, because I have you, O mind, the Vanular Peruman, Vanatil Ullavargal, Nitya Surigaluடைய Peruman, Nitya Surigalin Lord, the Lord of Nitya Suris, namely that Madhusudan, who is the Lord of Nitya Suris, and Ennamman is also my Lord. And so he says here that Ennamman Thanum Yanum. So he and I, Yellam Tannulle Kalandu Orindon. So you see, he says to his mind, you see, he and I have merged irretrievably. Tannulle Kalandu Orindom. Orindom is a way of saying, you know, when we tell somebody, Orinjubo, and what does it mean? Go away. Po means go away. Orinjubo means go away and don't come back, right? So you'll get irretrievably lost. That's exactly what this means is we are merged irretrievably. That is, you cannot go back to the unmerged form. That's exactly what he says. Tanum Yanum Ellam tannulle kalandolindom. So we have merged. That's what he's saying to my Lord and I have mingled and merged. And he describes how beautiful that is. He says here, that's like thenum, palum, neyyum, kannalum, amudum votte. See, each of these things is itself sweet and beautiful and very tasty. Then, honey, pal, milk, ney, ghee, kannal. Kannal means karumbu charu, the juice of sugar cane. Amudum is sweet nectar. So it's as delightful as honey, milk, ghee, sugarcane juice, and nectar all mixed together. It's how beautiful it is, right? So it's not just that he's as sweet as one of them. He's as sweet as all five of them put together. And that's what he says in the last line of that pasuram. And finally, aviye or amude. This is the last example of the usage of amude that we are going to see today. என்னை ஆளுடை தூவி அம்புல் உடையாய் சுடர் நேமியாய் பாவியே நெஞ்சம் புலம்ப பலகாலம் கூவியும் காணப்பரேன் உனகோலமே. So it really does something to your heart. It makes you feel very heavy at heart because he's saying, oh my goodness, I've been wailing after you. I've been calling you, but I've not had the good fortune to see you. That's effectively what he says here. Aviye amade. Aviye as meaning, oh, one who is dear to me as my life, or amude, oh, my insatiable nectar, yennai aludai thuvi. So in other words, oh, one who has me as your servant, thuvi ampul udayai, aragiya pul, referring to the Garuda. So one who has the Garuda, who has beautiful wings, thuvi is the wing of the Garuda. Shudar nemiyai, oh, one who has the fiery disc. Paviyen, this great sinner, Nenjam Pulamba Palahalum Kuviyum. I've called you many, many times, restless, agitated, and wailing. So that Pulamba suggests all of those, restlessness, agitation, wailing. So I've done all of that. I've called you out of my restlessness, out of my agitation. I've wailed, etc. But Palahalum Kuviyum, even though I've done that, Kanaparenu Anakolame, I've not been fortunate enough to see the beauty of your Divya Mangala form. But anyway, all of this is to show that the word Amude is a very beautiful word. And then almost every time you see that word Amude, it should suggest Emperuman to you. And that's exactly what Yashoda is doing by referring to him as Innamude, Yanakku or Innamude. He's an unparalleled, totally unique, very special, sweet nectar to me. That's what she says, okay? Okay. Then I'm going to translate it, and then we'll chant it. Okay. So now in Sirukuttan, there are certain Tamil words which don't have any direct English translation. So you look for similar words that have that also convey love and affection. So the muffin is the word. Okay. So again, it's the Anapas meter. He's my muffin, my nectar, my Lord. And the child that's so special, unique, with his hands that are tiny and cute, he invites you again and again. With this darling who is handsome and dark, play a game should you wish to pursue. Now behind the great clouds don't you hide. Oh, great moon, please do hurry with glee. Okay, so that's the poetic translation. So let's try to chant it. Again, chant each phrase once. Then after I do that, then you chant that phrase while you are muted. En sirukuttan, எனக்கோர் இன்னமுது எம்பிரான், எனக்கோர் இன்னமுது எம்பிரான், தன் சிறு கைகளால் காட்டி அழைக்கின்றான், அஞ்சன வண்ணனோடு ஆடலாட உறுதியேல் மஞ்சில் மறையாதே மாமதி மகிழ்ந்தோடிவா Again, the whole pasuram now together. En sirukuttan எனக்கோரின் நமுதியம்பிரான் தன் சிறு கைகளால் காட்டிக் காட்டி அழைக்கின்றான் அஞ்சனவண்ணனோடு ஆடல் ஆட உறுதியே மஞ்சில் மறையாதே மாமதி மகிழ்ந்தோடிவான். Okay, so you can see that the summary of this pasuram is that she's still lobbying or batting for her child, and just a little bit of impatience showing where she says, "Do manjil marayade, don't go hiding behind the clouds, because I know what you're up to." Okay. Now I don't have the time to start the third pasuram, so what I will do is I will go directly to the Charama Slokam and conclude today. Then we will continue next week. Let me go to slide number. Okay, let's chant this Charama Slokam together and the Mangalam. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah mangalam kosalendraya mahaniya gunabdhaye chakravarti tanujaya sarvabhaumaya mangalam. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu.